An FSP, we said an FSP is a license is issued with the conditions. Let us check about these conditions. Let us check about these conditions. What conditions are given when the FSP is being issued with the license? What conditions are given? What are these conditions? Number one, these conditions, they are applied to all the FSPs. Okay, once the condition is given to this, all the FSPs, they are covered with those what? Standard conditions. Those conditions are standard to all the FSPs. Number two, the license must be displayed all the time. That's one of the conditions that these FSPs are given when the license is being issued. That it must be always displayed. Whether you go to Standard Bank, ABSA, Libat, all the financial institutions, they must always display their licenses. The third thing is the FSP must notify the registrar of any changes within 15 days. You see, I put that 15 days in red, right? So that you know that it's very, very key for you to always remember that 15 days. The FSP must notify the registrar of any changes within 15 days if there are any changes. If there are any changes within the FSP to what happened within when they submit to the condition that they applied the license with, maybe the directors have changed, whatever has changed, the notification must be done within 15 days. Let me repeat. If there are any changes with the FSP, if there are any changes with the FSP has the responsibility to notify the registrar or the FSCA within 15 days of those changes. So the specific conditions, they depend on the category that the person is applied for, and the product, and the circumstances. Specific conditions depend on FSP category, financial product, and the circumstance of the application. Okay? Remember, they have different circumstances, right? Remember, when you're talking about the key individual, you said that one of the duties of the key individual is to ensure that the FSP have systems and procedures in place. Okay, so before the FSP apply, the FSP must have systems and procedures in place. It's a hand. Ayanda.
Yes. Sorry to disturb you, but can you please go back a bit to the specific conditions depending on the FSP category? What I didn't get the last things. Yeah.
Okay.
I was still writing.
Okay, it's fine. Let me go back.
Sorry about that.
I know it's fine. The previous slide, right? This one.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Please take these key points that I'm giving you. They are you see that they are very important when you are doing questions. Most of the questions, they come from those key points that I'm giving you. I'm not saying it's enough. Always go back to that book, the RE book, right? But these key points that I'm giving you are very, very important. Okay, can you proceed?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so we said the FSP must have systems and procedures in place to make sure that it complies with the conditions and the restrictions. Okay, it is the duty of the key individual to make sure that the FSP has what systems and procedures in place, and these systems and procedures in place, they must be maintained Okay, when you applied for a license, there were systems and procedures that they require, and these systems and procedures must be always maintained. Is it clear? So because all the conditions and the restrictions, they are given because of what the FSP has submitted. So if those systems and procedures are no longer in place, it means that the FSP is no longer fit and proper. So the license must be revoked or must be withdrawn or suspended. Okay. The license will restrict the FSP to two things. The license will restrict the FSP to two things. Number one, might restrict the FSP to a particular category. Number two, might restrict the FSP to certain financial products. The license will restrict the FSP to two things. Number one, the category and financial product. Remember, we talked about product categories, even though we will still need to go in and get an understanding of them. But we talked about product categories. So when the FSP applies for a license, they are given a license for a specific category. And we said the financial products, I'm going to share with you financial products, then we'll discuss about the financial products later on. So they're only restricted to license category and to financial products. Okay. And at the bottom here in red, I said the FSP may have more than one license. You see that the FSP have so many licenses. They're doing so many things. An FSP might have, it's not like if you have this license, you are restricted to that license only. The FSP is allowed to have more than one license. Are we good? Okay, so can you go to the next one, next slide? Displaying of license. Okay. The license must be, the FSP must display the license in a prominent and durable manner. You see those things that I put in orange are the keywords to every statement where the license must be placed in a prominent and durable manner. Can somebody explain to me what your understanding of the word prominent and durable? When they say a license must be prominent and durable, I want you to underline those two words. If somebody can try to explain to us the meaning of the word prominent and durable.
I think is whereby anyone can see. Let us say is in the office. If you come to the office, I think everyone can see on the wall. I think it's like that.
Okay. Another person with another understanding. I don't say it's wrong. I want to check if there's somebody with another understanding. Let's talk. I wish I can call some names. Today, no rice, you're not here. What do you understand by when they say in a prominent and durable place? Okay, I want you to I'm not going to give you the answer. I want you to go and do your research. Underline the word prominent and durable manner. What does it mean? Can you come and remind me next week when we meet next? At least so that you have something to do. What does prominent and durable mean? Prominent and durable manner. Those two words are very, very key. Okay. Number two, the license must be displayed in all premises and branches. Okay. If you go to Sanlam, all branches of Sanlam must be displaying the license. And the third part, certified copy can be used for displaying purposes. Okay. You can, when you don't have the original, sometimes you can put what? Certified copies. We can use certified copies. Certified copies are allowed. And the fourth thing, reference to the license must be done in all promotional material and business documents. You see, when they are putting their adverts there on TV, on social media, on pamphlets, wherever they are advertising, they must put the reference of the license. What is the license number? The license number and everything. It must be there. Usually it comes in small numbers, in small ways. You may not see it, but it must be always there. So reference to the license must be done in all promotional material and business documents. Okay. And the 50 point, they are saying the license must be available for production, copying and scanning to anyone authorized to request for it as a proof. It must be always available if it's needed let's say the guys from the FSCA, they just visit your office, they must be able to have access to it. Okay. And remember, they did not say, I want you to take note of that word. They said to anyone, but they also said authorized. It's not just any person who just comes to your office and say, I want the license. No, but the person must have the authority to request for the production of the license. Not every person who's coming from his village or from his house just say, I want your license. No. But if the person must be what? Must be authorized. Okay. So the license must be available for production. When they say production, they mean what? Copying and what? And scanning. To anyone authorized to request for it as proof. Maybe there's somewhere where it's needed. Okay, so those are the 5 key things that we must understand when it comes to displaying of license. Number 1, we said prominent and durable. You are going to tell me when you meet next time, what does prominent and durable mean? It must be displayed in all premises and branches. Certified copies are allowed, and it must be always quoted or always referred to on all promotional material, and the license must be available for what? For production. Those five key things, please take note of them. Are we good?
Yes.
We are good, man. Yeah, some of these things you understand them more when you are doing questions. Right? You don't just take notes and try to understand, go through them. But when you're doing notes, when you are doing questions, we will come to understand some of the things. FSP licensing responsibility. What are the responsibility of the FSP regarding to the license? What are the responsibility of the FSP regarding the license? An FSP must be licensed first before it offers financial service. It has the responsibility to get the license. Not to apply. Don't apply and start operating before you get the license. No, you must apply for the license and be authorized, then start operating. So every FSP must be licensed. Number 2, the FSP must take responsibility of the representatives. Remember, when you're talking about representative, you say a representative is somebody who works on behalf of an FSP. So when a representative makes a decision, wherever he is or she is, she's making the decision on behalf of the FSP that she is working on. Okay, so whatever the person has done, the FSP is responsible for that representative. Is it clear? If an FSP wants to use a debarred representative, is somebody who has said, this one must stop working. They must follow their reappointment procedures. They are what we call reappointment procedures. For if somebody is debarred, maybe you're debarred because you did something wrong when you're working at Avbob or Sanlam or Liberty, and you want to come back again and work as a representative. There must be procedures that must be followed for the reappointment. I'm not sure if that is clear. And the FSP must ensure that the representatives are fit and proper at all times. Okay, we are going to go deeper in with the fit and proper later on. We are going to go deeper with the fit and proper later on. But the FSP must always ensure that the representatives are always fit to work. They have the qualifications. They are in the right state of mind to go and work. And the representatives, they always remain the responsibility of the FSP. And we said who is responsible for representative within the FSP? We said is what is the key individual. The key individual is the responsibility of the representatives. Okay. Today we are cruising a little bit. I want us to cover this thing so that we do the questions. Sometimes you can be given a license. It doesn't mean that when you are given a license, it's a lifetime thing. Okay. Once you don't meet the requirements of the license can be withdrawn or can be suspended. And I want you to take note that there's a difference between a license being withdrawn and a license being what? Suspended. What are the reasons of withdrawal and suspension of license? I think we should be able to differentiate between withdrawal and suspension of a license. Number one reason for withdrawal or suspension of a license is the FSP or a key individual no longer meets the fit and proper requirements of the Act. When an FSP is applying for a license, remember they meet certain conditions or certain requirements. Once they can't meet those requirements, maybe one of the directors have died, maybe they don't longer have the proper premises or whatever requirements, they no longer fit and proper to do it. The license is withdrawn. Maybe the key individual, and remember licenses are also based mostly on the key individual. And maybe the key individual does not meet the fit and proper requirement. As much as the FSP might be still meeting the fit and proper requirement, but the key individual, the owner, or the person's appointed as the key individual, that no longer meets the fit and proper requirement, the license can be what? Withdrawn or suspended. Then there's disclosure. And FSP did not disclose all the required information when applying for a license. When they were applying for, the FSP was applying for a license, and not all information was disclosed. And the FSCA discovered that the XYZ FSP did not disclose all the information. Then the license can be withdrawn or can be suspended. Or the third one, the FSP failed to comply with the provisions of other acts. There are other acts, and the FSP fails to comply. Remember, as I said, the FIRES is the backbone, but there are some acts that the FSPs must comply with. If they fail to comply with those other acts, and it's reported to the FSCA, the license can be withdrawn. Please, if the thing switches off, we have reached our 40 minutes now. I will send you the link so that I can just finish. Maybe we'll need another maybe 20 minutes. Can we stretch to at least 20 past 8? Is it fine with you guys? Or 8:15?
Yes, it's fine by me.
It's fine, right? You can stretch it to 8:15 to 8:20.
All right.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. An FS